The phrases thank you and you're welcome are perfectly fine. But the thing is that using them all the time, constantly, sounds repetitive and unnatural.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's upgrade your vocabulary for different situations.
You're welcome.
So let's learn powerful phrases to express gratitude and respond naturally in any context. Because currently we are probably using all the time the phrases thank you to express gratitude and you're welcome to reply when someone says to us thank you for any reason. So let's start here with ways to say thank you. The phrase number one is I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We use this phrase when we recognize and value the help or favor given. This is a common and general phrase. For instance, it says here, I really appreciate you taking the time to explain this. I really appreciate you taking the time to explain this. Let's see an extra tip for this phrase. Use this to favor extra effort or when someone goes out of their way to help.
Well, thanks, but I appreciate it.
Let's see now some examples in context to understand this phrase better. The first dialogue we have here is says colleague. Person A says, I fixed the error in your report before the meeting. And person B replies, oh, that saved me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. The second dialogue says, probably a friend, a conversation between friends. So person A says, here is the textbook you needed for your class. Here is the textbook you needed for your class. And the other friend replies, I appreciate you lending that to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you lending that to me. Thank you so much. So here we are mixing I appreciate and thank you so much. This is the second phrase. That's so kind of you. That's so kind of you. Use this phrase when someone performs an unexpectedly generous or thoughtful action. For example, you paid for my coffee? That's so kind of you. You paid for my coffee? That's so kind of you.
That's so kind of you.
Let's see some examples in context. The first dialogue says, I picked up your dry cleaning since I was already out. Remember that this word since means because. Because is another alternative to say because. So I picked up your dry cleaning, your clothes, because I was already out. And person B replies, wow, that's so kind of you. I was worried about that. Wow, that's so kind of you. I was worried about that. Let's see another example here. Please take these leftovers home with you. I made too much. Please take these leftovers home with you. I made too much. And person B says, thank you. That's very kind of you to offer. Check that we can mix thank you plus this phrase. That's very kind of you to offer. Or you can also say, that's very kind of you to offer. That's all. Or that's very kind of you. This is the phrase number 3. It says, I owe you one. I owe you one.
I owe you one.
This is an informal, strong way to thank someone for a major favor, implying you will return to the favor later. For example, You covered my shift last minute. I owe you one. Seriously. Yeah? You covered my shift last minute. I owe you one. Seriously. Let's see the extra tip for this phrase. It says use this only with friends, close colleagues, or family, because this is informal. Let's see some examples of this phrase in a conversation to understand this better. The first conversation is called Big Favor. Person A says, I drove you to the airport so early because you needed it. You needed it. I drove you to the airport so early because you needed it. Person B replies, you're the best. I totally owe you one. I totally owe you one. Let me know what you need. Let's continue with the conversation number 2. It is called solving a problem. Person A says, here, I found the receipt you lost for the return. And person B says, I owe you one, friend. I thought that money was gone. I owe you one, friend. I thought that money was gone. Let's continue now with the next phrase that we can use as an alternative to thank you. This is the phrase number 4. It says, I am so grateful. I am so grateful. This is a very sincere and empathic way to thank someone. It is slightly more formal or reserved for bigger impacts. For example, I'm so grateful for your patience while I learned the new software. I'm so grateful for your patience while I learned the new software. Here we have some tips for this phrase. Can be followed by for plus the thing or to the person. For example, I'm so grateful to your sister.
And I'm so grateful to you and I'm so proud of you.
Or I'm so grateful for your patience or your help.
Oh, Miss Harrison, I'm so grateful for your kindness.
Here we have phrase number 5. It is you're a lifesaver. You're a lifesaver. This is a strong, enthusiastic, and informal phrase for when someone provides crucial help at the last minute or solves a major problem. So, at the last minute, check this out. When someone gives you their help at the last minute. For example, you found my keys just before the fight. You're a lifesaver.
You're a lifesaver.
Let's see now some examples in a conversation. The first conversation is called Crisis Solved. The person A says, I bought an extra charger because I thought you might forget yours. This person is very kind. I brought, I said before bought, but I see here and now that is brought. I brought an extra charger because I thought you might forget yours. Person B replies to this, oh my God, you are a lifesaver. Mine died an hour ago. Oh my God, you are a lifesaver. Mine died an hour ago. Phrase number 6. This phrase is, I can't thank you enough.
I seriously don't think I can thank you enough for this.
This phrase is for extreme gratitude. It means the help was so significant that simple words cannot express the depth of your thanks. Example, you paid my emergency vet bill. Can't or I can't thank you enough. Let's proceed with some examples in a conversation. Conversation number 1 is called significant help. Person A says, I spent the weekend helping you move into your new apartment. I spent the weekend helping you move into a new apartment. And person B, replies to that, my back thanks you. My back thanks you. Why my back? Because moving into a new apartment requires a lot of effort. You need to lift all the furniture, and there are a lot of things you need to do. It requires a lot of work. So, my back thanks you. I can't thank you enough for the effort. Conversation number 2 says deep gratitude. Person A says, I lent you the money when you were short last month. So here, person B replies, I honestly can't thank you enough. That really helped me out. That really helped me out.
I don't think I can thank you enough for giving me my life back.
Let's continue now with other alternatives to reply when someone says to us, thank you, or I owe you one, or I can't thank you enough, or the other phrases that we learned before. The phrase number 1 is no worries, no problem. No worries, no problem. This phrase is casual, widely used. This is one of the most common and casual replies for I owe you one, thank you very much, etc. Let's see an example. Thank you for holding the door. No worries. Thank you for holding the door. No worries. And here is our tip. Use this phrase for small, everyday favors like holding the door, simple requests, or quick help. The second phrase is glad to help. Glad to help. My pleasure. Glad to help or my pleasure. This is a very warm and professional response, indicating you genuinely enjoyed assisting them. So, check this out. This is a warm and professional response. We can use this in more professional contexts. Example, thanks for fixing my computer. The other person replies, my pleasure, glad to help. My pleasure, glad to help. Our tip for this phrase is excellent for professional settings, customer service, or after solving a difficult problem. The phrase number 3 is anytime, anytime, anytime. This is an informal and friendly phrase. It implies I would do this again for you without any hesitation. For instance, person A says, thanks for the coffee. Thanks for the coffee. Person B says, anytime, anytime. Here we have some conversations with some of the phrases that we learned before. And let's start with the first. It is called a small favor. A small favor. Person A says, thanks for grabbing me a napkin. Thanks for grabbing me a napkin. And person B says, no worries, no worries, no worries. Conversation number 2 is called professional. Person A says, thank you for getting this finished on time. Thank you so much for getting this finished on time. And person B replies, my pleasure. I was glad to help with the deadline. My pleasure. I was glad to help with the deadline. I was glad to help with the deadline. And the conversation number 3 is called close friends. Person A says, I appreciate you driving me home. I appreciate you driving me home. And B replies, anytime. That's what friends are for. Anytime. That's what friends are for. This is another phrase that we can actually say. That's what friends are for. Let's do a quick quiz to check our understanding about some of these phrases. The first one is, a coworker covered your shift last minute. How do you thank them? There are three options. That's so kind of you. I owe you one. I'm so grateful for that. I owe you one. This is correct. Well done. The context, I owe you one, is the best informal phrase for a major favor that requires reciprocation. Let's continue with the second point. How should you respond to I can't thank you enough in a professional setting? I got it. My pleasure. No problem. Here we select my pleasure. My pleasure is a strong, formal, and enthusiastic response in a professional setting context, remember. And the last one, which phrase is used for unexpected, warm generosity? You're a lifesaver. I appreciate it. That's so kind of you. That's so kind of you. That's so kind of you is used specifically to recognize thoughtful, generous acts. So this is the end of this lesson. Try to use one of these phrases to express gratitude and to answer when someone says to you, thank you, in your next conversation. Remember that practice makes perfection. So you will see using these other phrases that you learned before, you will see how your English starts leveling up.